Hey everyone. Um, so I recently bought this Passau, I think it's Passau or Pazu, I'm not 100% sure. Passau Pro pack. This is a medium body, medium arms, just the retail version. I originally looked at the custom version, um, but the wait time was just a bit too long for me. Um, as far as I know, this is the exact same, materials, exact same everything that would have been in a pro version, just, retail, just black and white. Um, I have about 6 or 7 games on this chess pad, so I feel like I can give a solid review on it, and that's what I'm gonna try to do today. And also, I'm gonna give you guys a little better look at everything, just because there's a lot of people on goalie Facebook groups and YouTube that have reviews on this, but none of them actually take a really good look on certain adjustment points and where some padding is and where some padding's not. And that's one thing that I was looking for that I couldn't find, so I kind of had to take a chance on this when I did get it. So I'm gonna do that to maybe make somebody's decision a little bit easier when it comes to a new chess piece. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the fit itself of this chest protector. Now, it is very bulky, um, and it fits very high up on my chest. Um, I come from a CCM Premier Pro, the 2017 version with a visible D30 foam in the hard guard and on the arm floaters itself. Um, that chest protector, to me personally, once I adjusted it with the Velcro in the back, I can make it sit a little bit lower on my neck, just to make it more comfortable. And the shoulder floaters, I had them out a little ways because you can adjust the shoulder floaters individually. You can with this, but it's not quite as adjustable, we'll say. Um, the CCM, I had them all the way, I think, if I remember correctly, I had them all the way up and out a little bit to kind of give me more of a streamlined look, but also make it a little bit wider, and also to give myself a little bit extra neck mobility. So this does fit a little small. I did come from a medium in the CCM Premier Pro, but the body was a little bit longer than what I would normally wear in the CCM. And the arms, even though they were adjustable, at the smallest setting, they were still too big. This is just right for me on the arms. The body is a little small, but I have since adjusted it so it sits a little bit lower on my neck, and it has kind of taken care of that. They do sell belly extensions for the Pro Pack, and I'll show you in a minute exactly where they go into the chest protector, and you can get them from 1 inch all the way up to 4 inches, in specific colors. You can do that. Also, one thing that you can get is they sell pads. There's Velcro on the actual shoulder floater itself, and they're thick pads that you can actually put in here, and it puffs the shoulder floater out to make you seem bigger. And I'm assuming it adds a little bit of protection too for the upper part of your collarbone area and stuff like that. I don't think I'm gonna need it because when you do put this chest protector on, you are big, and these shoulder floaters are monsters actually. It starts out fairly thin on the bottom, and it's a hard material, but up top it gets pretty thick. So it's thin, it gets thicker, and then up top it's segmented, and it's fairly thick and it's rigid. So there's a lot of protection here. There's one puck mark right there. That was a stupid hard shot. That one, my other chest protector, I would have been hurting. This one, didn't even feel it. I took another one here too. I don't think it left a puck mark. If it did, it would be probably actually right by this logo. Same thing. It hit me, and I was thinking, oh, this is gonna hurt, and it didn't. It flew off into the corner, up high into the corner. Actually, I think it went over the glass, and yeah, and I got a couple puck marks here too. Same thing. Didn't really feel them. So, like I said, fits a little small. You can get belly extensions, which I might do in the future once I kind of dial this in a little bit more. Another thing too that I kind of sort of find is it does ride up a little bit as I'm playing, but that's, you know what, I have 5 or 6 games on it. I still haven't quite gotten it to where I want it. I don't tuck. I do put my pants, put this over my pants. I tried tucking with my, with my CCM, hated it, not for me, so I'm just gonna leave that and probably get a belly extension. Maybe the 2-inch one probably would do me just fine, I think. But if you guys are looking into this, maybe get a large body. If you're like me, there is a size calculator on the website. It did say medium body, medium arm. Maybe think about getting a custom if you want. If you can wait, the 10-12 weeks, maybe you get that's an extra a size up in your torso, but your arms, I find the arms is fairly true to the size itself. So I already talked about the extra options. You can get the belly extensions, and you can get the pads in either side to kind of puff out your shoulder floaters a little bit. And it's probably, I'm assuming, I don't know, it definitely would add a little bit of protection there, just because it's an extra piece of foam that's going in, especially above your collarbone area, which is always not a bad thing, especially these days. So I'm going to talk about the arms, because this is one of the big reasons why I actually did get this chest protector. The CCM Premier Pro, the arms were good out of the box, but as it broke down, and it broke down fairly quick, mind you, I had a lot of issues with the arms. So I'm just going to stick with the front for now. One big thing that it's not that I don't like it, it's a little bit different from what I'm used to, is it's great protection, very, very good protection. The sides, so right here and right here, there's actually not a lot of foam there. The main foam, which is, Jesus, probably about an inch and a half thick, you have foam, plastic foam, from what I can feel anyway. And the foam that's on the inside is like a really low density. It's not like a pillow, but it's fairly low density, so it gives you a lot of cushioning support. It only goes to, let me see if I can feel it. It goes to about there. So from here to there, there's nothing really. There's thin foam, just like that pillow material that's against your arm on the inside. So that I don't really like, only because, sometimes, funny bounces, maybe you're in your RVH, whatever, you can get hit here. It might cause a problem, it might not. I'm just saying, that's one thing that I noticed right off the bat. Do with that as you will. It is what it is. Same thing up top. Get this elbow cap out of the way. So same thing, great protection up here. It goes to, sorry, I'm not very good with this camera, right about there is where it stops at the tip of my thumb. So you have a little bit of an area where you're actually not really protected, but like I said, 5 or 6 games, haven't had an issue yet. But when I do, the chest protector more than makes up for in other areas. Shoulder cap, you have 1 cap, 2 cap. This is just a foam cap, a light duty foam cap. This is a hard plastic cap. This is, there's no cap here, but on the outside where you see this line, this is actually hard plastic too. So this gives you a little bit extra coverage in the net. And it also kind of blocks off your armpit area a little bit. You do have a detachable little piece here that you can move around. If you want it out, further in, further up, further down, whatever, you can. That's just a little bit extra protection for underneath your armpit area. I do like that. I had to move it a little bit just to kind of get it to where I like. But that is also something that I like. But we'll get into the body here in a minute. One thing I do want to talk about, I'm going to sit down here and get myself a little bit more comfortable. The adjustability of these arms is top-notch. So I can only really speak for my CCM Premier Pro, because that's what I'm used to. The CCM Premier Pro, the elbow cap, it was not very sturdy, we'll say. The elbow cap itself was good, but how it was actually put into the chest protector really sucked. It had 2 elastic type straps, one here, one here, one here, one here. And it wasn't actually adjustable at all, I find. Like, there was no straps going over it. Like this one here, you got a strap that goes from one end to the other, and there's stitching, so you can adjust how tight it is to your arm, and you can also do it right here too. There's no stitching on this one, so this will actually, so you can move it up and down, which I'll show you in a minute, but this still pulls it down so you can adjust it, the tightness. I like my arms tight. The CCM Premier Pro did not provide me with that. There was no way for me. I have, I'm not gonna say I have small arms, but I thought I, you know, pretty decent sized arms, I guess. And as tight as I could possibly get it, it was still really, really loose. And I didn't like it. I got used to it, but I really didn't like it. Ever since I got this, it's great. I can actually go back, enjoy the way I like it, and it's top notch. So this elbow cap, I'm really sorry, I gotta focus on the camera here. This elbow cap, hard piece of plastic all the way down. The sides, there's foam in there too. There's no foam on the sides, but you do have that really light density foam on the inside that I told you about earlier. It does go up, so, you know, is what it is. But the cap starts from here and it goes almost all the way down to your cuff. Now this is my blocker side, which doesn't really matter, but it's the same on the glove side. But if you go with a hands up position, like if your glove's up, your wrist is exposed. That was one thing that I really didn't like about the Premier Pro, is that there was no forearm protection, especially because that elbow cap, you couldn't really secure it down to your arm or anything like that. This one, you can move it. See if I can, I don't want to loosen that off, but come on. There's, you see the lace in there? There's lace in there and there's multiple holes, so you can actually move this down or up. And because this strap is not like this one, if this strap was attached like this strap, you couldn't actually move this up or down very much. You can a little bit because this one's kind of stuck, I guess, now that I think about it. But either way, you can move this up, this actual elbow cap up or down. You actually don't have to have the elbow cap held down by this one, like in here. You can always take it out and wrap it around. I have it in here because it just kind of works out that way. You do have one more adjustment to hold it nice and tight up top. You do have a lot of movement here, so you can adjust this. You can take this one out if you need to get it higher. You have quite a bit of maneuverability and room there. Now the elbow cap, like I said, I like it a lot. It provides a lot of protection because it pretty much goes all the way up to your wrist, or where you want it, you know, on your wrist bone. It provides a lot of protection. So, you know, if you're reaching up for a puck, like a nice high shot, and somebody tips it down and you can't get it with your glove, but it hits you in the forearm, you're gonna have protection here. You're not gonna you might get a stinger, because depending on how hard the shot is, you might feel it, but it's not gonna hurt like, you know, if it's bare skin, right? So that is something I really, really like about this chest protector. Another thing I really like is the strapping for the cuff. It is not Velcro. It is not elastic. It is a buckle. Same thing as on your goalie pants. You adjust it, you pull it tight, and it does not let off. So CCM Premier Pro, and the reason why I bring up the Premier Pro so much is because that's what I'm used to for the past, well, since I think I bought it in 2018. That's what I'm used to. So that's what I'm going to make all my comparisons on, because that's what I wore, right? So, you know, if you wore something different, I'm sorry, I can't really, I don't know what the word is, use that as a comparison, but you can just use your imagination. Anyway, so this is just a nylon strap. I can get it tight on my wrist, loose on my wrist. I really, 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 really like this. This makes so much sense. I don't know why everybody does it this way, especially after, 6 months. If this was an elastic with a Velcro, it doesn't do anything after like 6 months once it stretches out, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Another thing I really like is in the cuff itself. This is it's a felt material. It reminds me of, I think I had a Bauer blocker. Don't mind my dirty fingernails. I'm a diesel mechanic, so it's hard to get it all out. But the felt itself, this provides a lot of grip, I find. So if for some reason you like this a little bit looser or tighter, whatever, even when you're sweating like a pig, this will move. There's no way around it. It's not mechanically attached to you. It's not screwed on your arm or anything like that, so it will slide a little bit. This felt prevents it from sliding when it gets wet. It's almost like a sure grip material, I find, like in a block or palm or something like that, and it's on both sides. Now this is a really, really nice touch. I really like that. It's just another little thing that Passau does that I really, really like. One thing about the arm, another thing about the arms that I'm kind of not really a fan of is just this outside elbow cap. My blocker side, I'm okay blocker. I have my moments, but the cap itself, I do get a lot of pucks on the edge here. This is just a thin piece of plastic, and then you do have a little piece of foam on the inside, and there's a piece of foam here and here, hard foam. So you are protected all the way around, mind you, but thin piece of plastic here, little piece of foam here, and on the elbow cap itself, the foam actually does not really wrap around all that much. I mean, it does, right where your elbow would be. Actually, now that I feel that, there's actually plastic all the way around where this would be. So, no, okay. I apologize. I didn't feel that before. But anyway, I feel like this could be beefed up a little bit more, maybe with an extra piece of padding in the back, or maybe a little bit thicker of foam in the back, or even a piece of plastic. But still good. These forearm, or I don't know what you would call this, between your forearm and your bicep, this is extremely protective. I took actually one right in here, didn't feel it whatsoever. One thing I want to talk about on the arms real quick is mobility. I didn't know that chest protectors could be this mobile. I thought with my Premiere Pro, you know, this part of the Premiere Pro, it was D3O on both sides, and then it was not cut, but it was segmented, and it was so friggin' stiff. Like, it was, I couldn't bend it like this. Like, this is so easy to bend. Even after, well, I've had it since 2018, and it's still like that. And it's not going to get any better. And my arms were, I thought it was okay. It compared to this thing is so mobile in the arms. It's actually ridiculous. So you have a big thick piece of foam from your wrist bone to about just below where your arm flexes. Right above where your arm flexes, all the way up to just under your armpit, is another piece of foam. So you have, I would guess to say, about a 3-inch gap between those pieces of foam. Now, there still is low density foam. That low density foam that I talked about earlier, it goes all the way up the arm. But from about here to here, there's nothing. That's where this comes in. This is extremely mobile already. But I can, when I put this on, I can scratch the back of my head. I can do absolutely everything. It felt like I was just wearing a nice cozy sweater. Like, it was so protective, and the thick foam that they use from here to here and here to here, it felt like a piece of armor that was made for me almost. I put these arms in, it felt so comfortable, it was so mobile, and I've gotten a couple of shots off the arms already. I didn't feel them. I mean, I felt them, but they didn't hurt whatsoever. It's just a great design by them in the Pro Pack, other than the foam not coming all the way up the side, and this could be a little bit thicker. That's my only thing that I don't like about it. That's it. Now, the arm adjustment, you just take this lace out, you move it up. You got about probably, by the time you get everything stretched out, probably 3/4 of an inch worth of adjustability here. Like I said, it does run a little small, so I find this is the way it came from them. I didn't have to touch this, and even, you know, I could, I guess, but I find where it comes right now, this is different for everybody, but I find the way it is right now is perfect. Really like it. No problem. So, mobility, closer look, okay. I made a list so I can remember everything. I was just looking at that real quick. So one thing I do want to show you before I open this up is the adjustability of this. So, shoulder floaters. You do have 2 different ways to adjust this. There's 2 straps coming off the shoulder floater. There's 1 strap here, 1 strap here, but you can move these 2 straps over, do whatever you want. Like I said, the CCM, this was actually a piece of Velcro back here, and you can move it up, down, left, right, whatever. This, it's only a couple straps. These come up really, really high. So I wanted it a little bit flatter on my shoulder, so I tightened these all the way up, and I brought them out, so give me a little bit more neck mobility, which I'll get into that here in a couple minutes. But this is adjustable. Now, the height of the chest protector itself is adjustable. there's two different ways to do it. There's this, I'll get a better shot of this here. So you actually have this piece here, piece of Velcro here. You can move this up or down, left or right. This is for the height of the chest protector that actually goes on your neck, and on the inside is the same thing for the arms itself. So you can actually have the arms a little bit higher on, like it's hard to explain, but this is how you adjust the height of it. These two are just extras for the shoulder floaters themselves. Like I said, you can't have these puffed out, especially if you get that extra foam. You can have these puffed out a lot. Me personally, don't really like them puff out too much, so I have these relatively tight to kind of hug my shoulders a little bit more. Even with this hugged, it comes up nice and high. I'm nice and big. You know, there's no issues with that whatsoever. So one thing I do also like, which I haven't really gotten around to adjusting this yet, on the back of your pants, there's always a loop. This is what I call a fight strap from my days in Junior C and Junior B. I never did because I didn't really ever get into a goalie fight, which would have been pretty cool, but I never got the chance. Players would, these would be on the jerseys, and they would hook them to the pants so the jerseys wouldn't come off. Jerseys wouldn't come off. You can hook this to your pants to kind of prevent it from riding up a little bit if you do like it tucked in. This is just an extra little thing that you can do to plug this in, tighten it up, keep your pants and chest protector nice and together, I guess. Now the adjustment for the body, I don't know if I can do this one hand or not, but two straps, one here, one here. You flip this up. Come on. Good Velcro, by the way. My God, that's good Velcro. You can move the strap up, down, left, right, whatever. Get it nice and tight, get it nice and loose. This is an extra protection for your ribs. I really like this piece of foam. This is hard piece of foam, and then this is soft foam. I got one or two here in the RVH. Didn't feel anything. Perfect. Really, really like it. Spot on. So that's how you tighten it up on your body. Now on the inside, I want to open this up for you. One-handed is not fun. Once again, great Velcro. There we go. Sorry about the cameras. I'm not really much of a camera guy. Anyway, so one thing that I really love about this is the nice thick belly pad. Now on my CCM Premier Pro, the belly pad came from here and kind of was about here, and there was a space in between the belly pad and the rib protection. The rib protection also had a little bit of a belly pad, but it wasn't as thick. So from here to here all the way down, there was a gap, and it was only the big blocks that was protecting it. Every time I got a puck here, it wouldn't sting me, but I'd feel it a lot worse than what I really should. One thing these days is the newer chest protectors. Bauer is one of them. CCM is especially one of them. They're actually going away from a belly pad. The CCM Shield and the Shield 2, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it was, does not have a belly pad. So the squares that you see, actually, you could see the stitching of the squares, and there's no extra protection on the back of it. I had a buddy of mine let me try his just because I was in the market for a chest protector. Really want to try it. Anyway, because I don't wear my chest protector tucked and it's not kind of flat on my stomach, the shots would come in and this would actually slap my stomach and it would sting. Oh my goodness, it would sting. So I wanted something with a really thick, nice thick belly pad. This belly pad itself, I can push it down. That's probably almost an inch thick, and it's fairly thick. I know this isn't all the way broken in. I understand that, but this is perfect. There's not going to be any stingers. There's lots of protection here. The belly pad itself, the nice thickness goes all the way around, all the way up. Not quite in the collarbone area, but because you have the really, really, really thick shoulder floaters, you got thick foam here as well, the blocks, thick foam plus the thick shoulder floaters. Plus, if you get that extra padding in here, you're covered, you're set, you're not going to have a problem. Same thing over here. Well, nothing's different. This is what I talked about earlier with your arm adjustment. You can adjust these in and out. Actually, now that I look at it, she's kind of lopsided, so I'll have to fix that. But you can have it up, down, in or out. That's also kind of would help with the arm adjustment. So this is where you get the belly extensions. Now the belly extensions would fit all the way around, and it comes with lace, and you just lace it in just like your arms, and it would extend it out however much you want it, from 1 inches all the way to 4. So that is the option. That's where you would do it. You do have 2 nylon straps here. I'm assuming that is for tying your pants to your chest protector. So if you want to do that, you can. Now, one thing I do want to talk about a little bit is just the quality and the build of this. This is a Quebec company. I'm actually out of New Brunswick, so I'm their next door neighbor. So that's another reason why I got this one, because I wanted to support local. Quality is great. Everything's nice and tight. There are a couple of loose, threads here and there, but there's nothing missing. There's nothing loose. There's nothing coming out. The craftsmanship is A1. Based off of what everybody has told me, this thing's going to last me forever if I take care of it, which is my full intention. Yeah, there's not really... Oh, one more thing I do want to talk about. I'm going to flip it over here. Oh, my floor's a little dirty. Oops. The heart guard. So this heart guard, usually it's a hard piece of foam. I just vacuumed. Good Lord. My cat. The heart guard itself, it's usually a hard piece of foam. It doesn't go all the way down the chest protector, but this is really, really soft foam. This is just like a pillow. It's not a hard piece of foam, but this deadens rebounds. When you're actually playing, your shoulder folders aren't this close together, but anything that comes in here, it kills the rebound fairly well. You still do have that really, really thick belly pad underneath, plus your nice thick blocks, heavy duty blocks. So even without the hard piece of foam here, you're not going to have a problem with any stingers or protection over your heart area or your chest area or anything like that. This is a great design. There's another loop here so you can tie your pants down. Really, that's all I want to talk about. Just go over it again real quick. The mobility, A1. Didn't think I could get a chest protector this mobile. Like I said, felt like I was just wearing a piece of a nice fuzzy sweater. It's you don't even almost even notice that you have it on until you get hit, and you're like, oh wow, that didn't hurt at all. It's a great piece of equipment. One of my favorites that I've ever bought, to be totally honest with you. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Like I said, I made this review just to kind of help people. If you're like me and you really want to look at the gear up close a little bit more, some of the pictures on Facebook or on the Passau website itself or anywhere that you look, even YouTube videos, there's not really much of a close look at stuff. Me being kind of skeptical without the belly pad, I wanted to look at the belly pad. I knew there was one on here, but it was hard for me to see it on videos and pictures. So I had to take a chance at it. It worked out great. I'm very happy with this chest protector. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, whatever, leave them down in the comments. I'll do my best to address them. I hope this made somebody's decision a little bit easier. And definitely check these guys out. They do make some accessories as well. They do make leg pads, blockers, catchers, everything. I did just get a new set of pads last year. I actually made a review on the CCM 5.9s if you want to check that out. If not, no worries. So I won't need any more gear for a little while. I say that, but you never know what can happen, I guess. Anyway, you people have a great day. And yeah, that's the Passau, however you want to say it. That's Pro Pack.